The South African Communist Party is picketing outside the US Embassy in Pretoria, calling for an end to tensions between Iran and Washington. The demonstration is in response to America's recent military attack in Iraq that killed Iranian top general Qasem Soleimani. Washington had blamed Soleimani for masterminding attacks by Iran-aligned militias against US forces in the Middle East. Iran responded to Soleimani's death by launching missile strikes on US targets in Iraq, although no US soldiers were killed. The SACP's Deputy General Secretary Solly says they're calling for world peace. Well, for more on this story, we cross to our reporter Samkele Maseko. Thanks very much, Samkele, for joining us. The timing seems a bit strange. I mean, these events happened about 2 weeks ago. Why didn't they hit the streets earlier?
I'm not sure why they decided to picket now, but I'm going to throw these questions to the first Deputy President of COSATU, Michael Shingange, why they decided to picket with their alliance partner SACP and ANC at this time when the event of the killing of the General Soleimani happened weeks ago. Why did you decide to picket today?
We have always picketed here. You remember that even when we were picketing against the incarceration of the Cuban Five and the blockade in Cuba, we've always been in this American embassy. So it's not the first time. Of course, we're watching very carefully the international community's intervention in the war talk between Iran and also United States. But our view was that this time it's a time that we be in solidarity with the international community that is now heartful, or actually very angry and tired of the American meddling in the countries that are the peace-loving countries, in the countries that respect the international law. Our view is that the workers and the poor are suffering because of the meddling of the USA in all the countries of the world.
What impact does this have, particularly if this war between Iran and America continues? What impact does that have for the South African worker on the shop floor in any working factory in South Africa?
Firstly, it is Iran today, it's South Africa tomorrow. That's our view. If you look at all the countries that America has invaded, there's no telling the where America will land tomorrow. So that's a reason why all Africans, all the citizens of the world must unite and defeat this imperialism. Ourselves as South Africans, we know very well that the racist regime of apartheid in this country was prolonged for a very long time because of America under the President Ronald Reagan, who was opposed to the sanctions that were imposed against the apartheid government here. We know that America in 2001, they threatened South Africa with sanctions when we passed the Medicine and Related Act here, because they saw the burden of disease in South Africa as a market from which they must make money. We know today that America is against the land reform in South Africa and they've threatened South Africa with sanctions. So we know that we are next. We should stand together. If we are to liberate the people of Iran, if we are to liberate people of Palestine or Cuba and Venezuela, we need all Africans, we need all people of the world to unite, to come together and defeat this imperialism.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mike Shingange. That was Mr. Mike Shingange, the first Deputy President of COSATU, saying that it's Iran today, South Africa tomorrow, and all African states need to stand together in the fight against America when it comes to this issue of the standoff with Iran and Libya and other countries, particularly within the Middle East. Also COSATU and the SACP saying that America and its troops, army troops, must get out of the Middle East as in yesterday.
Thanks very much, Samkele, for that report. My colleague there, Samkele Maseko.